Welcome everybody, and welcome back to the Cabbage Critiques. It has been a hot minute since we've done this. It's been about 2 weeks, full of trial and error, mostly errors. But we are finally here to bring you this gosh dang Daredevil review. Oh boy!
It's here, guys.
Yes, after a while. And I guess it's sort of fitting, considering the fact that we're in October now. Daredevil's kind of scary. He dresses as a devil. I mean, it's Karl.
He was kind of scary and King in Black. He had giant black horns on his head.
And Jacob. Say something.
Okay. I haven't watched the episodes in a while, so it's gonna be a little rusty, but hey, I'll keep I'll keep on track here.
Yeah. Like I said, it has been a hot minute since we've actually watched the episodes compared to where we are now. Back then I was only like halfway through season 1. I am now almost done with season 2. And since then, Daredevil has since appeared on Marvel's She-Hulk, which was single-handedly the best episode of the show. And now people can shut up about it.
Yeah, it's Daredevil suit.
It ain't gonna save the reviews though. It's like at 30%, I think, on audience reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
Hey,
Yeah,
well, who
probably.
cares? My boy got some, okay?
I mean, for those who don't know what happened in the episode, here's your little abridged yet spoiler-filled review.
Clean up your language.
Matt Murdock arrives. He destroys She-Hulk in court, takes her out to get a drink. They go fight bad guys. He claps her cheeks, and
in a less elegant way to say it.
And then he leaves without saying anything else. It's based. Although he has to use this stinking yellow costume, which I don't like.
Doesn't look very good.
But hey, we got to trade something out.
Oh yeah, he has to join the mustard team.
Yeah, that's what she was talking about. Like ketchup and mustard, the colors don't really work. And for once, I agree.
Was that a jab? Was the show trying to make a jab at classic comic books? I find that offensive.
Yes, yes, it was.
Also, I don't think it just translated very well into leather.
Yeah, no. And I mean, when they had the suit from the show, like I get, for context sake, it makes sense that they brought in that yellow suit because he gets his suit made by the, what's his name, the tailor. I can't remember his name at the moment, but couldn't they have gone with something else?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even know if they may still have the suit, but it could have gotten destroyed when they got done filming season 3, even though that was a ending that they didn't plan on. They didn't know they were going to get an abridged ending.
Yeah. But what else? We're not here to talk about Daredevil's suit. We're here to talk about the show.
Which is in the show. Which is in the show. So we're talking about the show.
I guess you're right then. All right, let's talk about the semantics of Daredevil suits. His original one, it's simple but effective. The red one, it's classic. I love it. The yellow one, it stinks. Jacob, help me out here. What are some other Daredevil suits?
The one from the 90s, the Guardian suit. You know, the one with the armor. It's an armored suit. That's what it is. The armored suit's really good. And then of course you have his suit from the first season.
Well, like I said, he wears that one, which, like I said, it was simple but effective. I need to take a look at this 90s suit that you're talking about because it's actually not ringing a bell.
It's really funny.
Oh no.
Best suit you ever find in comic books.
Oh,
Just
this
don't-
suit sucks.
You can put
Just
it, probably
don't-
put an image of it on screen for people who don't know.
Oh no.
Oh, also he has this but he has this really cool Shadowland suit.
Okay, I'm putting this armored one on screen right now. This does not look good.
Also, you should probably put the one from Shadowland, I think it's called. It was an event. It was like the black suit.
Yeah, I remember the Shadowland one. That one was good.
Yeah, but you didn't know about
This
the best
armored
one, the
one
one from
though,
the
this
90s.
is dookie.
It's pure 90s. Most 90s you ever find.
Oh God, looking at these Daredevil suits, and I get the one from the freaking movie with Ben Affleck.
Yeah, maybe practical leather works better than the one they used in the 2003 movie.
Yeah. Then I have to look at Bullseye's stupid face.
Bullseye always happens to get thrown off of things. Oh,
It'd be like that.
just like Electra dying, getting stabbed through the chest. Always happens.
Freaking true. Oh God, this one's nightmare fuel. I like how we're just looking at images of a Daredevil in his costumes now. Like ones that I'm talking about. I'll put them on screen, but like, what the hell is this
It's a
one,
little,
man?
it's a little off topic.
No, we're talking about Daredevil. It's like what Karl said.
Well, yeah, it's also called a tangent too.
Yeah, that's true. We'll get to the actual episode here in a second. But
Are we going to talk about Matthew Murdock's twin brother he made up to get out of trouble?
And then became a real character thanks to Marvel Comics Magic Wackaroo.
You know what? Forget the show. We'll talk about that instead.
let's talk about like all the bull crap that Marvel has pulled within like the past 50 years.
Yeah, like hiring Joe Quesada.
Let's talk about
Joe Quesada's a good
Daredevil.
artist.
let's talk about the Clone Saga. How about we do that?
No, let's get back on topic. Back on topic, you two.
I do enjoy talking about Clone Saga.
It's for intellectuals.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not here to
really good beginning, but really bad middle and mediocre end.
That's
We're
how
not
it
here to-
always is.
We're not here to talk about a very dumb and comic made for simple monkeys. We're here to talk about Daredevil.
Carl throwing shade. But yeah, the first time we tried this review was long enough, so yeah, we should probably get into it. Okay, so we are here to talk about Netflix's Daredevil. Well, Disney Plus's Daredevil now. But Carl, our fax man, bring us some info upon this show. I can say this for now that it started in 2015 and it ended in 2018. It had 3 seasons with 13 episodes apiece, if I'm correct by saying that. But yeah, give us some background on the show itself, if you will.
Okay, let me open the wikipedia.com page.
No problemo.
You're right.
Don't reveal our secrets like that.
Ah,
This is all at the top of our heads.
You're right. It started on April 10th of 2015, and it aired, and its last season aired on October 19th, 2018.
see?
Oh, sorry,
Remember brain.
19. Sorry.
Ah,
We have a wonderful cast. We have Charlie Cox
I love Charlie Cox.
as Daredevil, Deborah Ann Wolf, who sounds like a comic book character, is Karen Page.
Love Karen.
Eldrin Henderson as Franklin Froggy Nelson.
Love Foggy Nelson.
We have Toby Leonard Moore as James Wesley, thank you.
Mhm.
Vondelin Kurtz Hall as Ben Urich, and Vincent D'Onofrio as some fat guy. I think it was Peter. I think it was Peter Griffin. I'm kidding. He was Wilson Fisk, but I could not help that joke.
Hey Lois,
Lois.
I'm fighting
I'm-
Daredevil.
No,
Okay.
don't hate on Peter Griffin, dude. He has more muscles than you ever get.
Hey Lois, remember the time I was in Spider-Verse? Days.
Bro,
Yeah,
like,
honestly, I love almost every character in the show, or hate to love some of the other characters, but honestly, and the casting choices were perfect. Charlie Cox in particular is an amazing, amazing actor. We talked about this the last time we discussed Daredevil. Is that I believe he won an award
yeah, he won an
for
award
his performance.
for performing it like a blind guy.
Yeah, like for portraying a blind person.
I've been watching Breaking Bad, and one thing I've realized is that in live action, when people act like cartoon characters, that makes the show actively worse if it's trying to be a drama. And something I found is with Daredevil, the characters didn't feel like cartoon characters.
Yeah,
They
and
felt like real people.
he Charlie Cox did win the Helen Keller Achievement Award.
That's what it was.
And you can tell when you watch the show that he looks like he's blind.
Yeah, like he it's very convincing. And plus, everyone else plays their parts to perfection. Like I said, I love Karen Page. I love Foggy Nelson. Vincent D'Onofrio as the Kingpin is absolutely phenomenal. It made me really happy to see him in Hawkeye.
What did you think of his? But
Oh.
I'm sorry.
He
Go
really
ahead,
didn't do
Jake.
much.
I watched the interview with him when he was on She-Hulk. I saw him without glasses. Like, who is this guy? This is not Daredevil.
Who is this man?
This is not
So
Daredevil.
what did you think of his Vincent D'Onofrio's appearance in the Hawkeye show, DJ?
I thought it was neat. It was pretty much just a glorified cameo, if we really want to put it that way.
So was Daredevil and She-Hulk.
That too. But hey, people knew that Daredevil was going to show up. They weren't expecting Wilson Fisk to show up in Hawkeye.
No, true.
But either way, both of them are phenomenal actors. I love them in this show. But yes, I believe without further ado, it's time to get into our quick synopsis of the first 3 episodes so we can get discussing about them. I realize how long I made them last time, so I'll try to cut them down a little bit. Although the episodes are almost an hour long, so
yeah, there's a lot of things to happen.
let's
It's
see.
It's not like Blue Period where there's a lot of small things happen and you want to mention them but you can't.
Yeah, but let's see what we can pull out of our rear. So the show opens up very dramatically. We see a retelling of Daredevil's classic origin story. A kid pushes an old man out of the way of a truck that swerved. It spills toxic chemicals on him. He becomes blind. His other senses are heightened, and that's like the origin story is pretty simple. Although the scene itself is extremely dramatic and at times hard to watch. I mean, because we literally see, the young Matt Murdock, who's like 8, 10 years old. We literally see him going blind, which is a scary thought.
He is 9 in that scene.
Okay, thank you. But yeah, it's a very scary experience, especially considering all the commotion and imagine just going blind on the spot. It's horrifying.
Yeah.
But with that out of the way, we cut to the present day where we see some. Am I gonna get in trouble with YouTube for saying this, or this is a TVMA show?
Is it a very sensitive topic?
It's human trafficking.
Okay, well, you won't get in trouble for saying that.
All right. Well, we see human traffickers trying to take this group of girls into a cargo. Well, yeah, it's a cargo crate. But then we see a man in a black mask show up, and he starts whooping booty.
Yeah.
He takes out the human traffickers and lets the girls go.
Hold on, wait. You forgot about the scene before where he's in the confessional. He has, "Forgive me for what I'm about to do."
Look, we just talked about this. We got to get through this quick. But yes,
But you literally just no. You can't just skip over that. It introduces
Fine,
the
well-
main character.
fine. We'll talk about the confessional. So after we see the opening scene, we're in a confessional between the priest and who we later find out is Matt Murdock, and he goes and he says, "Forgive me for what I'm about to do." And the priest is like, "Well, that's not exactly how this works. What are you gonna do?" Then we cut to the human traffickers.
You need to introduce that because it's important.
I mean, the priest does play a big part later on, although within these first 3 episodes, he doesn't show up that much. He's pretty much the only person for a while that knows who Daredevil's true identity is. Although at this point, he's not called Daredevil; he's just the man in the black mask.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what he is. He's a vigilante in a black mask.
He may not have fear. He may not have fear.
Yes.
Could be the man. Maybe without fear. I don't know.
He'll eventually become the devil of Hell's Kitchen, and then he'll become Daredevil by the end of the season. But that's for a later date, I suppose. But continuing on with the episode 1 synopsis. So after the confessional and after the human traffickers, we cut to the present, like the actual, current happenings on. We learned that multiple crime families, such as the Russian mafia, Yakuza, and the Chinese, that was it, are all running pretty much roughshod within Hell's Kitchen. And we have the masked man here, and he's trying to take them down pretty much by himself. That is pretty much the current situation that is thrown upon us. And of course, we know that
dumb.
Yeah, that this vigilante is Matt Murdock, the kid who had his senses heightened in that accident. But by day, he is a lawyer, as a part of Nelson and Murdock with his friend Foggy Nelson, who they're great buds. I love them. They have a great chemistry behind them. Who are
Foggy commits a crime.
Yes, he commits a legitimate crime. But hey, he's doing it for the greater good.
I wouldn't call bribing a cop a good thing.
I mean, yeah, you got me there. He bribes the cop for pretty much first dibs on a case. But
So
he and
a little bit of, hey, you hear it? Just tell me first,
Yeah, help a buddy out. But he and Murdoch run their law firm, Nelson and Murdoch, and they're very, how do I put this? Poor. Yeah, they despite being well accomplished lawyers, they don't have much under their belt. They have virtually no clients and almost nothing to their name other than the apartment they live in. So we find out that their first client is a woman named Karen Page, who's a secretary for a company who does construction called Union Allied. And we meet her in a very gruesome scene that I believe Jacob and I talked about, where we see the police enter her house, and we see her next to a bloodied dead man with was it a pair of scissors or was it a knife? Or I can't remember.
It was a knife, I think.
A bladed weapon, let's just say.
Knife. Says knife here on the MCU universe fandom.com on the episode.
Thank you. Yes, a knife, and it, by all accounts, it looks like that she's killed him. So Nelson and Murdoch take her on as their first client because, like I said, pickings are slim.
But they are doing it for free though.
Yes, they are doing it for free. So it's pretty much neither of them can really offer anything.
Yeah, the trade offer is, hey, we get to help you, and you get to be our first case.
I mean, that's pretty much the long and short of it.
Oh, and they work, and then later she works for them.
Yes, but that's later. So yeah, it's not looking good for Miss Page. I mean, all evidence points to the fact that she killed this man. However, when she's being questioned by Nelson and Murdoch, we get one of the first showcases of, Matt's powers. Like, it's appropriate to call them powers, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, because they're very sensationalized.
Yeah, like he's technically blind, but he can hear someone's heartbeat and tell if they're lying, or he can smell someone's aroma away from almost a building away. Like it's heightened tenfold, pretty much. But
Yeah.
by listening to Karen's heartbeat, he can tell that she's telling the truth, and he's like, "I got a gut feeling, Foggy. Let's help this woman." And so they do. They do everything to prove her innocence. But they're also approached by a man named James Wesley, who we learned is trying to keep this case under wraps through both direct and indirect matters, as we'll see later. Because in fact, later, Karen is attacked by another man who tries to kill her after she lied to Matt Murdoch about having more information about the case than they were led on to believe. She went to go take care of that evidence, but was promptly attacked. But look who shows up at the end. Well, it's the man in the mask. And this fight scene is actually pretty dope. Like, compared to some of the stuff that happens later, it's not as crazy or fantastical, but I think it's some good fun.
Yeah,
Heck, we even get a flashback to Matt as a kid and his dad, battling Jack Murdoch, who we will get to later. But Matt knocks out the thug. He saves Karen Page. And with that taken care of, she's pretty much acquitted of all charges. And she becomes their secretary. But the episode ends on a bit of almost a somber note, if you will, as Daredevil, who's standing high on the rooftops, is out looking for, more bad guys to bust. And he hears a boy crying out for help. And at the end of the episode, no, my bad. This is the start of the next episode. But yeah, that's how the episode ends.
So we know he's going to get in some trouble.
Yeah. So what did you guys think of that first episode? Like, what were your initial thoughts after watching? I know it's been a while since then, but let's see if we can't recapture that a little bit.
I thought it was really good. I thought that the acting was really good. The characters, it was very gruesome, but in a way that wasn't over the top.
Yeah.
I liked the themes in it. About we didn't get to discuss it as much, but like the different lines talking about morality, kind of.
Yeah, and there's episodes later on where they definitely address the morality and the motivations of some of these characters, like why they do the things they do, and it's very interesting. And I also agree with you about the brutality aspect, because this is a TVMA show. There is blood. There is, no proper nudity. There's an almost boob, but we don't see anything. It's perfectly covered up by Charlie Cox's giant head. There's the swears. There's quite a few of those.
My favorite. Who's your favorite character?
My favorite character, if we're taking like this first season into account, obviously Matt's awesome.
Yeah.
But I feel like for a main character, he's very likable, but also cool. Because I mean, he's Daredevil. I mean, a lot of people love Daredevil. But if I were to say someone other than him, I think Kingpin is awesome, and Foggy Nelson is a very funny dude. I like him.
From what I've watched, I like Foggy most.
Foggy's great.
Other than the main character,
Yeah.
of course.
What about you, Carl? Do you have any thoughts or characters you wanted to talk about?
If we're going just off the pilot, it's a very eye-catching show. I did like the fighting was very good. I liked how Batman defeated all of those human traffickers.
Shut up.
Definitely,
No.
it's definitely Batman.
Yeah, they decided to bring back Ben Affleck.
For which role?
Both.
For both. We're gonna get the Affleck verse.
It's gonna be
So yeah, I very much enjoyed the pilot. I actually quite like the fact that there was quite a bit of Daredevil action, but there wasn't too much. Like it wasn't oversaturated.
Kind of like the next episode.
Yeah, they use the fight scenes in this show sparingly, but when they do happen, they're usually pretty cool. Because the choreography in this show can be insane sometimes, and this one was just a good way of showcasing the tone for most of the rest of the show, the characters, and just for those who are unfamiliar with the character of Daredevil, the basics of them. Because I very much like how well into this world that it's grounded. There's no like over the top campy supervillain of the week. It's very grounded in reality. Obviously, there's Daredevil who can do these extraordinary things, but he's not, pulling new powers out of the back of his rectum.
Yeah, it's not he has a set abilities, nothing changes really. He has to
Exactly.
work within the parameters of it.
I very, very much agree. So, I believe it's time for us to get into the next episode. So, this is the episode that we get to know more about Battling Jack Murdock, who is Matt's father, and the one who took care of him after the incident, if you will. Battling Jack Murdock was a boxer. Not a great boxer. He
pretty
fell
bad
on his butt.
record.
He was on his back more than he wasn't. But he fought to pay the bills, and he fought for his boy to have a better life than him. And, for how tough he was on Matt sometimes, he was a great father. So this episode shows that in its opening segment. And with recurring segments throughout the episode, they fill out the rest of Battling Jack's story. We later learned that he initially turned down the offer to take the fall for a guy who was being headed by the Irish mob, but he didn't want his son to see him as a loser any longer. So he decided that he was going to win the fight, and that afterwards he would, bail before anyone would catch him. But of course, the Irish mob caught up to him, and they killed him.
Hey, we don't like that. We don't like that.
Yeah, we don't like that. They don't work for us, Chief. Yeah, and they kill him, and Matt has to go and see. Well, he didn't see, but you know what I mean. He gets to find his father gone. He has pretty much no one left. He gets put in an orphanage. Jack does put away money for him, all his winnings, but that's about all he has. And later on, we'll catch up with young Matt in the orphanage and all that to see how he became the man he is today. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We catch up with Matt in the present day, who went to go hunt down one of the many disturbances he heard that night. But he found that it was a trap laid by the Russian mob. They lured him in with a boy who was viciously taken from his father. Another pretty hard scene to watch. The show can be full of those, but they're genuinely interesting. But he's led into a trap and pretty much beaten to within an inch of his life, let's just say. And he ends up in a woman's dumpster. That woman, her name is Claire, and she will be a recurring character for most of season 1. She briefly appears in season 2, but mostly season 1. And, out of the goodness of her own heart, she takes in Matt, who she doesn't even know his name. She calls him Mike.
He doesn't reveal his name.
Yeah, like he chooses not to reveal his name. He doesn't want to reveal pretty much any information about himself to her. But she takes him in, and she takes the liberty of, nursing him back to health. She helps him because she works as a nurse. She helps him out and, keeps him from pretty much bleeding out and dying on the spot. And in turn, Matt Murdock protects her when the Russians come to finish the job. And
you have someone in you on a foot. We're looking for him.
That actually is probably one of the funnier parts of the episode, where he says that he can smell one of the Russian guys from downstairs because of his cheap cologne. It was a nice little gag there. Yeah, honestly, not too much happens inside this episode outside of that. As we get the reoccurring things between battle at Jack Murdock, and we catch up to Matt in the present day, seeing how he's healing from his wounds of battle. But by the time that he's all healed up, he beats the crap out of the Russian who was going to attack Claire, and he beats the information out of them on top of a rooftop near a water tower, trying to find where he was taken so he can go rescue him. And this is where Matt's morality finally gets put into question. Is he doing this out of pure justice, or does he have alternative motives here, such as just enjoying kicking the crap out of people? And that's definitely something that's brought into frame much later and is expanded on as the show goes on. But this is like the first inkling of that we get. But we don't have time for that now, because near the end of the episode, we get one of the coolest fight scenes of the show. We get a single point action shot where Daredevil goes into the Russian hideout and kicks the crap out of like a dozen or so Russians, while the camera just slowly follows him before he saves the boy, and he gets them both out of there alive, and which was a much happier ending than the pilot episode. But yeah, that's pretty much the long and short of it. What did you guys think of episode 2?
I thought the hallway scene was goated.
It was awesome. It really was.
Other than that, I loved most of the lighting was a big factor in the episode.
Yeah.
The light, the acting. Honestly, I just thought it was a really good episode.
Yeah, but it was more just fleshing out some more details that are needed, but aren't necessarily necessary to the rest of the show. But it helps establish our characters more, and yeah.
Oh,
What do you think, Karl?
I have find one funny. The one thing you forgot to mention was when Karen and Foggy go up to a bar to have a drink, and they
and they get hammered.
Hammered and go knocking on Matt's door and wake his neighbor.
Oh,
that was fun.
that was good fun. Love drunk and Foggy and Karen.
I also will say how because the ending of the actual ending is when when Matt sees his father. It perfectly contrasts Matt finding the boy, saving him, and returning him to his father.
Mm-hmm.
It perfectly kind of contrasts those two ideas.
I never really thought of that. That's a good point that you bring up.
I thought it was a very good episode. It was very nice to see see Daredevil using his senses a lot more, like finding the guy 6 floors up, 6 no was the 6 floors down, going to each apartment with
He
the
just drops
cologne,
him. He just
and then
drops him.
and then just drop. What did he
Oh yeah,
drop?
and he dropped.
Actually,
And after he gets the
Fire
information, he
extinguisher.
drops him into the same dumpster he was thrown in. That was
He,
awesome.
he goes to the exact position, so he drops a fire extinguisher on his head.
Exactly. It was freaking awesome.
it made me think when he dropped the guy over the edge, and not really with with the fire extinguisher, made me think of an old Hanna-Barbera cartoon with the old cartoon they get smashed by
They go boing.
But when he dropped the guy off the edge, it made me think of it reminds me of the Dark Knight suspended cosmic destruction when he threw the Joker Zombozo off the building and he landed on whatever. It was very fun.
But yes, you are right. You are very much right. That scene does give very specific Dark Knight vibes to it, which is great. I love the Dark Knight, as everyone else does. But yeah, I thought it was a great episode. Like I said, obviously there were details that aren't really going to play into the rest of the story that much. Like Matt's dad, he doesn't really serve the plot much other than anything.
Yeah, he's dead, so he can't really play a part.
Exactly, but it's necessary information for the audience to be given because one, it gives more depth and character to Matt Murdock, but it also sets up other things that can be carried on with in the future, and moments and other set pieces that we will definitely be revisiting in the future, such as what's the name of the gym? Fogwell's.
Gym?
And just stuff like that.
Well,
Yes.
is he trained? I remember reading the graphic novel going back. Is he trained by Styx at all?
In this show, yes, he is trained by Stick.
Okay, yeah. Styx goes like, "Hey, you're weak. Stop being weak. Be strong for yourself.
Stop sucking.
Just be good. Just get good."
Get good. Stick is the ultimate gamer.
It also did teach one other thing before we go on to the next one, that Matt's mom's a bitch.
Yeah, she's not the greatest mom.
Jack calls her to take care of our son.
So,
Never shows the hell up. Take care of their damn kid.
Deadbeat mom. They exist.
That's something you see a lot in shows, I will say.
Yeah, it's like Jason.
Yes. Although I think he had an excuse. His mother was dead.
Jason's no. His mother was very much alive.
Didn't he kill
Wait,
him?
are you talking about Todd or Voorhees?
Todd.
I thought you were talking about Voorhees. I thought you I was like, didn't Jason Voorhees kill his mom or something?
That did not happen. But yes, you're very right. Jason Todd's mother was a deadbeat. Yes, you're very much correct in saying that.
Sorry, I'm so used to calling him Jason. I'm not used to calling him Jason Todd.
Well, it is the spookiest of months, Karl. We have to make distinctions here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not a trope that you see very much in comics, shows, movies, all that. But yeah, you're very much right on that account. Karl with the keen eye.
Yeah, he may not have very much patience, but he has a keen eye.
Yes, sir. But yeah, it was a great episode overall, and like I said, the fight scene at the end was great. Like when it comes to the fight scenes, there isn't a ton, but when they have them, they're usually bangers.
Because it's supposed to be a drama.
Yeah, like it's not supposed to be action, from balls to the walls, and it's used sparingly, but that's on purpose.
That's what I like about it. It's not like bombastic Marvel. I'm not a big fan of it, I'll be honest. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like how the action's used in this show.
This might go off into a bit of a tangent, but Moon Knight also did that, although it wasn't focusing more on the drama, it was focusing more on the psychological aspect of Mark and Steven, while the superhero action stuff took a back seat, which I thought was good. The problem is the last episode, which is all superhero fighting stuff.
It's like they're trying to make up for it not being in there before.
I mean, we have freaking giant Khonshu and giant Amit fighting at the end, so whatevs.
You know how long he was in that show, to go off on a little bit more of a tangent? You know how long Moon Knight was in the entire show?
Probably like 12 minutes.
You're close. 14 fracking minutes.
Like how long is the entire show longer than like
It's about a
Well,
6-hour movie.
Well, the
6
entire show was 6 episodes, and the episodes were like 40 minutes to an hour apiece.
Roughly around there.
that's why I don't watch those shows.
Oh, the only thing Disney Plus got right was unfortunately, he was very good Werewolf by Night. You'll only hear it once.
I didn't watch that. Maybe we should review it.
We should. It's spoopy month.
It did do. I did teach DJ something about my keen eye that he didn't realize, but I did.
He did. In fact, it relates to our Lord and Savior Man Thing. As we know, Man Thing is
No. He ain't nobody's Lord Savior. He is Lucifer freaking Morningstar.
Okay, fine. I'll just refer to him as Man Thing. Like I'll even refer to him as Ted if you want me to. Would that make you happy?
Refer to him as the Antichrist. That'll make me happy.
There you go. That's better.
How about just Ted?
Fine.
Just Ted.
No, that makes me think of a cute bear.
That bear is not cute. Shut up.
I don't know. It's a pretty cute bear.
It just reminds me of that scene from the movie where it's like white trashy girl name, and it's like and what's his face just names off like 50 different names in like 10 seconds. It's amazing. That movie is actually unironically pretty funny.
But back to your tangent about Ted. Back to your tangent about Ted.
I thought that he was mostly composed of CGI, but Karl showed me that in most scenes he was indeed a practical effect.
The only time we ever had like a CG effect was when they had all the black and white stuff on him.
Oh yeah,
but that was just because it was a filter they put over everybody but the damn bloody stone.
Well, to be fair, speaking of bloody, that's how they got away with all the blood in it.
True, but
because the fact it was
to Daredevil, who did have blood in his show.
No, Daredevil didn't have to be black and white to have blood in it. Although his She-Hulk variant may as well have been Barney the dinosaur compared to him. Speaking of which, you guys gonna watch the Barney documentary?
I don't know.
No.
Why not?
Because I hate you, you hate me. Let's go team up and kill Barney with an RPG and no more purple dinosaur.
What the heck, man? Yes, back to Daredevil. We have one more episode to cover, then we'll get our final thoughts in. And hey, we'll actually get this episode out for a change.
If this isn't broken this time.
But yeah, let us know if you want us to give a review on Werewolf by Night. I'm just saying that would be legitimately kind of fun because hey, Karl at least somewhat enjoyed it. It's spooky month.
Spooky, not whatever the hell you said.
No, it's spooky.
Spooky month.
See, Jacob gets it.
It's like you're trying to say a nice version of poopy.
Yeah, is that something you'd want to do? Potentially, Jacob, do a review of Werewolf by Night?
I'll check it out. But we have to review Over the Garden Wall, which is like 10-minute episodes or like 10 of them, so it's really good.
Over the Garden Wall is actually something that could be a pretty good review someday. Excuse me. Although we'd have to figure out how to format it because, like you said, they're about 10 minutes a piece. But I don't know if we could knock out all 10-minute episodes, all 10 episodes.
Not to go. We're one cutting this out because this is going off on a too far of a tangent.
No, dude, we're keeping all of this in. But yeah, you are very much right. We got to get on topic. Yeah, let us give us ideas for stuff to do in the future. Why the heck not? But let's do Daredevil with probably one of my favorite named episodes in season 1, Rabbit in a Snowstorm. So we cut back more prominently to James Wesley, as we saw, who was the guy trying to pin the crime on Karen Page in the first episode. Nelson, Murdoch, and Page have started to pretty much attack Union Allied for what damages they have caused to her. And James Wesley is trying to keep this kind of under wraps. Especially when the episode kicks off, we see a man named James Healy. Oh no, not James. John Healy. My mistake. I had in my notes here as James, but I caught myself. He brutally murders someone with a bowling ball in the beginning of the episode, and Nelson and Murdoch are pretty much forced to take him on as their client to prove that he's innocent. Although I will say this, by the end of the episode, that does not turn out well. But we'll get to that when we get to that.
You definitely could see he had an eye-opening experience for it.
Karl, it's true, but Karl, you are right.
I usually am.
Yeah, you usually am.
You usually
Or-
are. That's good grammar.
I are good at English.
Back to middle school with you, DJ, with English.
No, please, God, no. But we learn more about Wesley's quote unquote employer. We will get to him. While Union Allied tries to get pretty much give Karen Page hush money. NDAs, stuff like that. Gotta love it. Despite this, Karen Page goes to is he a journalist or a reporter, or is he both?
I think he's but
Well, both-ish. Ben Urich, who's an old fella. He's an old and grizzled veteran of the newspaper world. But he takes a liking to Miss Page, and they start to try to develop clues and take on the story of Union Allied and their related affairs after much forwarding by Miss Page.
okay, that is kind of funny. One of his nicknames is Old Timer. Ben
Really?
Yurt's one of his nicknames is called Old Timer.
Well, fair enough, because he pretty much is. And in this episode, there isn't really much Daredevil action, but we do get more of the lawyer side of things as Nelson and Murdoch try to form their case for Mr. Healy, and we actually get a full-on courtroom scene between them where Matt delivers a very well-crafted and well-thought-out statement to the jury. If I know we're in the synopsis part of this, but Karl, you know more about law than I. What do you think of this courtroom case?
I will say Matt had a better presentation than Froggy, because Froggy was like, he really did not want to take this case. And Matt did it just because Matt wanted to figure out more about the employer than the client.
Yeah.
But his speech was very interesting. I'm trying to see if I can even find his stupid speech. Where is his stupid speech?
Well, you find that he used his power of hearing the heartbeats of others and found out that one of the members of the jury was pretty much paid off and corrupt.
No. Try that again.
Well, that happens later.
Not paid off. Blackmail. There's a difference.
Okay.
There is a difference.
You are right. You are right.
Like I said, I usually am.
Blackmail
Usually,
means that you didn't consent to it.
usually am, but I will say in this case they achieve the same effect, do they not?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. A person of the jury is blackmailed, but Murdoch, well, as Daredevil, Man in Black mask. Who cares? It's Daredevil. His name is on the freaking title card. He helps get that woman out of there, and of course, there's just more and more. Whenever corruption is seeked out, more corruption fills in. But eventually, they feel like they've got the case won, and then the unthinkable happens. Well, Daredevil meets Mr. Healy in an alley concerning the information that he knows about the goings on, and Mr. Healy, who is a very probably a very stable person, I'd say, decides to what is the most appropriate way to put this, Karl?
He
Other
wanted
than
to be than having a pun that I made earlier.
Yeah, that one.
He wanted to be a pirate for Christmas. He wanted to be a pirate for Halloween, but he took it a little too far.
That's one way of putting it. He pretty much offs himself by throwing himself into a very well placed spike that goes right through his head, and probably one of the more gruesome scenes of the show. Like the show has blood, but like nothing crazy like that. However, that is not where the episode ends, as we finally get a proper face and body attached to Mr. James Wesley's employer, who we find out is Wilson Fisk, and as comic fans will know him as the Kingpin. We see him in an art gallery looking at a very nice painting, which is just the aforementioned rather than a snowstorm. It's a white painting. Also, that curator lady will come into play later, but we're not here to talk about that because that wraps up episode 3. So, what did you guys think?
I thought that it was a good first 3.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that it could have. I think they did the best they could have.
Yeah, like obviously when it comes to the first few episodes of the show, there are growing pains. You're not gonna knock it out of the park. Like there's very few shows that I can legitimately say knock the first few episodes out of the park. The only one that I can say for certain is like Gravity Falls. Like I feel like that one had a consistent tone and all that throughout. And I feel like Daredevil keeps its tone, but you know, it was the best they could do with the first 3 episodes when you're adapting a comic book character to a TV show character. Obviously, there wasn't as much Daredevil action in this one, but that's not inherently a bad thing. I'd say it was more law-based, which I'm sure, Karl, did you enjoy that?
Sorry, I was looking at Matt's speech again. What was the question you just asked me again?
I was just asking, did you like the more law aspects of this episode?
Well, yeah. Daredevil, you expect it because you know the character. You expect it in a show called She-Hulk Attorney at Law, but you get no fracking lawyer aspect, you stupid bloody show.
Oh, no, you get it. It's just that the cases suck. Like,
Yeah, the bloody sitcom.
It's She-Hulk versus Titania, and she has to use her dating profile to show that she used the name She-Hulk. How quirky.
That's definitely a law case for sure.
Yep, but I did finally find Matt's speech, finally.
Oh, great.
Would you like me to read it to you?
Yeah, sure, why the heck not?
Waste a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, forgive me if I seem a bit distracted. I've been preoccupied of late with questions of morality, of right and wrong, good and evil, sometimes like this decision between the two is a fine line. Something is a blur. It's often like pornography. You know, when you see it, a man is dead. I won't mean to make the light of that, but these questions are vital, ones that they later tether us to each other, to humanity. Not everyone feels this way. Not everyone sees the line, the sharp line. Only the blur. A man is dead. A man is dead. And my client, John Healy, took his life. There's no disputing that. It's a matter of record, of fact. And facts are just more, but no moral judgment. They are merely stats, what it is. Not what we think of them, not what we feel. They just are. What what was in my client's heart when he took Mr. Pavaja's life, whether he is a good man or something else entirely, is irrelevant. These questions of good and evil are important as they are. There are no places in the court of law. Only the facts matter. My client claims he acted in self-defense. Mr. Pavaja's associates had refused to make a statement regarding the incident. The only other witness, a frightened young woman, has stated my client was pleasant, friendly, and she only saw the struggle with Mr. Pavaja after it had started. Those are the facts. Based on these and these alone, the prosecution has failed to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that my client was acting not solely in self-defense. And those, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are the facts. My client, based purely on the sanity of the law, which we all sworn an oath to uphold, must be acquitted of these charges. Now, beyond that, beyond these walls, he may face a judgment of his own making. But here, in this courtroom, the judgment is yours and yours alone.
Great one, Carl.
Powerful statement.
And what a powerful speech it was by Matt.
And thanks to Matt, I broke my hand.
Yeah, I feel like it was a great first 3 episodes of the show. Honestly, I can't really find anything that was majorly bad about it. Obviously, I could nitpick to say little things here and there, but I don't feel like there's anything naturally to nag it on for. What do you guys think? What are some like final thoughts? Let's go. If you had to condense them.
Final thoughts. Well, I think the show is really good. I would suggest watching it to anyone because
And Carl?
I would say it's a very good show. You should watch it if you have enough time in your schedule. Like mine, my watching list is 3 county miles long, but I also say, do not, I repeat, do not binge this show. You will waste at least 3 days of your life, 2.5 days of your life if you binge all of the show.
Best case scenario.
I felt that with Breaking Bad. It's like you watch one episode, you're like, I want to see the next one. Next one goes by, you're like, okay, next one. And then
This
you're already like
show is
3
more in the
hours.
line of, watch, a couple a day if you want, like if you really want to keep up with it, or like a couple episodes a week, stuff like that. But no, you're very much right. Do not binge this whole show. Good Lord. But I will certainly be watching the rest of it, and hopefully maybe sometime we can come by and give you even more thoughts on the rest of it. But until then, who knows what the future has in store with us. It's convention time again, so we'll have plenty of news for you. Carl showed some of it to me, and oh my gosh. But on behalf of both Carl and Jacob,
What's up? See you guys later.
this is your favorite Southern Californian son signing off. Farewell,
don't forget-
Cabbages.
Don't forget to find DJ's house to get a cookie.
No. This time I'm without fear, though.
Or
Alright.
a piece of chocolate cake.
No.
If
Bye.
you give him
Yeah.
a cookie, he'll give you Man Thing.
See y'all.